Hey, what's up, guys? So, uh, other night I'm doing research about Ishmael or who he could be, and I just get this sharp pain in the back of my head. I wake up, suddenly there's a new video posted on my profile. So, I don't know what the hell happened. This guy, I guess he knocked me out or something. Stole my t-shirt. Like, who the fuck does? Who steals people's t-shirt? Look what he did to. Look what he did to my dude back there. What's wrong with this guy? But I watched the video. He's trying to stop me from theorizing about shit. No. I'm not gonna stop. So here we are with another Metal Gear Solid 5 theories. Ishmael, who could he be? Let's do this. Now the first and least interesting of all the theories is, of course, Ishmael may just be a new character altogether. So we may not know anything about him, but I wanted to at least say that to kind of put it in there with everything else. So it may be a new character, maybe a troll character, we don't know. At this point we don't really know. He just may be there for just as a new character or in that sequence alone. So right now we can't really say, but I figured I'd add that in. Now my first theory is going to be about Solidus, because I've already kind of done a whole video about Solidus, but there is more information that I keep coming onto and from you guys and everything, so I'm going to run through some of that stuff and kind of reaffirm my belief in the Solidus theory and kind of see what's going on with that. First thing I wanted to say was this is going to be important for all the theories, but there is this picture. Basically, Hideo Kojima had an Ishmael mask made, and since you can't clearly see Ishmael's eyes in the trailer, you can see it on this mask, because for some reason the mask is made where it covers it has bandages and it covers the eyes, but the mouth is open. So why add the eye section? I think they want to give us a little clue. And if you look at the eye color, now it is debatable whether or not which color the eyes actually are. But to me they look blue. Some people say they look gray, and I'll kind of go back and forth on that as this video progresses. But to me they look blue. So that reaffirms my Solidus theory, because Solidus is the perfect clone. He is an exact clone of Big Boss, so he would have blue eyes like Big Boss. Now, a lot of people debate the theory that Solidus could even be Ishmael based on the fact that he would only be 12 years old at the time, because he was created in a different process, but he would essentially have been born as a child and then grown up like the twin snakes. But in actuality, it's like we don't really know a lot about how Solidus was cloned, like how he was created. Like I've read the information online, like on Metal Gear Wiki, but I'm not 100% sure if that's all legit, because I have never actually seen or heard anything in game about them explaining how Solidus was created. But even with that information given, it is also stated that Solidus was leading soldiers in Liberia in the late 1980s during the Liberian Civil War, the first Liberian Civil War. Now, the first Liberian Civil War was in 1989. Solidus would have only been 17 years old. And Solidus was built with a faster accelerated aging than the other two clones. Plus, a lot of people say that the two clones, the twin snakes, their accelerated aging would kick in at 25-ish, and that's when they start jumping years. So they would be normal until they hit 25-ish. But if Solidus is only 17, I highly doubt that a 17-year-old could lead an army and while appearing as a 17-year-old. And it's also when you meet him in Metal Gear Solid 2, he is clearly older than the other two snakes because of the accelerated aging, and he appears he appears more like the big boss we see in Metal Gear Solid 4 and the ones we're familiar with in Metal Gear 1 and 2, just the way he looks. I just don't think we know enough really about Solidus's past to kind of discredit that he could be Ishmael, because he does work for the CIA, and the CIA was responsible, or at least partially behind, the Peace Walker incident, so they would definitely have a part to play in this game, especially having a grudge against Big Boss. So there's definitely something there that could tie them together. Also, just the accelerated aging in Solidus, we don't really know how it works. It's possible that he could have grown up, he could have like where he grows up real fast and then slows down as he gets older, as an opposite to the other snakes. We don't really know. Like, it hasn't, unless somebody knows like a cutscene or something that you can send me a link to. Like, I want to see in-game facts saying like, this is how Solidus is, this is how he was made, this is everything about him. Like, unless you can give me some of that, then I don't really like know. Like, we don't really know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just keep your mind open. That's pretty much kind of my Solidus ideas. It would also explain the fact that Ishmael, when he addresses Big Boss, he uses we. That could be a sign of the Big Boss Solidus relationship, because he clearly sees himself as a clone. Like, he knows that he was just created as like a shadow of Big Boss from the dialogue between him and Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 2. So we definitely know that he sees himself as a clone. He kind of has that same mentality that Liquid does, and all the clones kind of share it mutually. So he definitely has that thing with Big Boss. Plus, if he's undercover for the CIA or something like that and he's working with them, also Big Boss probably doesn't know that the Solidus clone was even made, because he left right after the Les Enfants Terribles project, and the reason they created Solidus is because he left, and they needed to create a figurehead for the Patriots in Big Boss's image, so they created the perfect clone. So it would give reason to him hiding his identity as Ishmael, as opposed to like telling Big Boss or showing Big Boss who he is, especially him covering his face, because if Big Boss sees a younger version of himself, obviously he's going to think, what the fuck? Like, or why do you look like me? And so, I mean, there are just a lot of things there that would imply that it could be Solidus. So I want to keep that theory. That theory is still kind of alive to me, and especially with the information I found, it kind of reassures it. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a theory. Like I say, I don't say that any of these are fact, like any of these have to happen or anything like that, and that's why I'm going through all the different proposed theories, because I want to kind of see if they could be true, how they could be true, and how do they make sense. That's my Solidus portion of the theory. So yeah, on to the next one. The next theory I'm going to tackle is the Gray Fox theory. Now, like I said in my other video, Gray Fox definitely has some, like, he definitely appears in the timeline during the time frame of this game. So I definitely think he's going to be in it. Now, is he Ishmael? How could he be Ishmael? Let's go into that. The Kojima mask. Like I said, I can't tell really if the eyes are blue or gray. They're kind of, it's like a very faint blue, but it's kind of gray, so you kind of get mixed up, so you don't really know. Like I said, to me they look blue, but to you they may look gray. So if they are gray, Gray Fox has gray eyes. And the biggest questions are, why does Gray Fox not sound like Gray Fox? He sounds like Big Boss. And as I explored in my other video, the likelihood of Ishmael being a Big Boss, like Gray Fox being a Big Boss body double, just don't seem very likely. I do think he will be in the game, but I don't think he'll be a body double. Now, if we get rid of that body double theory, then even if it is Gray Fox, it still kind of bugs me, the fact that when he addresses Big Boss. See, if Big Boss saved him from the Vietnam prison camp or whatever, before his coma, because it would have to occur before his coma to happen in the 1970s, because the coma would land him in 1980s. So it would have to happen before that. That means he's met Frank Yeager. He's also met Frank Yeager like before in Portable Ops when he was Null, but he would have met Frank Yeager and saved him, and they would like that would be the basis, like a start of a kind of like friendship or mutual partnership, or at least acknowledgement as soldiers. Either way, but if they know each other, why does he hide his identity? That's the biggest question that I have at that point. If it is Gray Fox, why not say, hey, it's Frank Yeager? Out of all the other proposed theories about who this person could be, Frank Yeager is the only one Big Boss should know by now. So I don't see why he would hide his identity. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me that he would not tell Big Boss who he is. I mean, it would be cool if it was Gray Fox, but I'm just not seeing, like, there's not enough Gray Foxness with this guy. There's not enough facts that really line up that make me think that it might be Gray Fox. But I'm definitely open to the possibility, given any new information that they release or I've stumbled upon in my research. So that's my Gray Fox portion. Now I'm going to talk about the Decoy Octopus theory. Now, once again, the eyes on the Kojima mask are either blue or gray, and I think people have said that that's what color Decoy Octopus's eyes are. I don't know where they got the information, but I will go along with that and say that it is possible that that is his eye color, and if it is his eye color, then he could possibly be like this Ishmael. Now, other characteristics of Decoy Octopus. A lot of people believe Decoy Octopus is Ishmael because he has vocal implants that can actually make him sound like other people, so he could sound like Big Boss. Other things are that he had surgery to have his ears chopped off and his nose, his cheeks, everything graded down in order for him to get disguises easier. So that's why they believe he has his face bandaged up. Perhaps he just had that surgery. Also, Decoy Octopus worked for the CIA at one point. Like I said about Solidus, the CIA definitely have a grudge against Big Boss, so it could definitely have a it could definitely play in this game. So it would make sense that they would send in Decoy Octopus to mess with Big Boss. My problems with the Decoy Octopus theory. First, if you look at Ishmael's bandages, you can clearly see the outlines of a nose and ears. This could be pre the surgery where he had his nose and ears and everything shaved down. We don't know that. He could have just used the bandaged face as a disguise. There is like this little theory that I've been knocking around in my head just from some information I found, and I figured I'd tell you guys, but I didn't know really where to put it in because it's just kind of a small thing. But in my information, when I was looking through stuff, I was learning about Gray Fox. At some point in Mogadishu, Gray Fox, I think it's Mogadishu, Gray Fox gets captured and he's tortured, and during his torture his nose and ears are cut off. But in the images from Metal Gear 1 and 2 and in Metal Gear Solid, when you see him like without his mask off, he clearly has his nose, and in the other ones he clearly has his ears still. So wouldn't it be interesting if somehow Decoy Octopus was standing in for Frank Yeager and got tortured and had his ears and nose cut off? So that's how it might have happened. So we don't really know, because a lot of Decoy Octopus's history is unconfirmed. He is really one of the most mysterious characters in Metal Gear Solid because you never really see him. The only time you see him is when he's in disguise as like the DARPA chief and he's killed by Foxdie. So he's definitely one of the characters I'm really curious about, and I'd really love to see him in this game and get to know his background. But my problems with Decoy Octopus being Ishmael are, one, why does he have the bandages on his face? If you can clearly see that he has nose and ears, obviously he hasn't had that operation to get them removed. So why use such a crude disguise? So why wrap his face up? Why hide his face? He is, like, you have to understand his character. He is the master of disguise. He takes on aliases like it's nothing. I mean, like, that is his thing. He becomes other people. He hides in plain sight. He is a decoy. That is what he doesn't. He's not a fighter. That is what he does. He steals people's identities. And having his face bandaged up just seems like a really kind of crude disguise. I mean, especially hiding as a patient as opposed to being like an authority figure, like a doctor, it would have been a much better disguise for him. Especially being like that one doctor we see in the trailer with the glasses. Like if he'd have disguised himself as that guy, would have made a lot more sense. Also, when the biggest thing that makes me think it's not Decoy Octopus is that when Snake asks him who he is, he hesitates. He's like, I'm Ishmael. Like, or you can call me Ishmael. But he hesitates. Once again, this is Decoy Octopus. This guy lives and breathes, like, stealing people's identities. He would not hesitate telling Big Boss his name. He would not have to think about who he is. It's like that is what he does. That is his profession. It's like, I just don't see him being that unprofessional in this situation. He's like, I have too much respect for him to believe that he would forget his alias in this mission. It's like, that's why I think it couldn't be Decoy Octopus. But that is my Decoy Octopus theories. So, on to the next. The next big theory I want to delve into is the idea that Ishmael himself is an illusion. He's not real. He's a figment of Big Boss's imagination. There are actually a lot of indicators that it might not be a real person based on a lot of things that I've noticed from seeing just the small clips with Ishmael in them. And I'm going to tell you what I've noticed. First, I would like to talk about how Ishmael is created. I mean, I've had a couple weird theories jumping around in my head, and I figured I'd tell you guys. So, the first one is the obvious one, like it's PTSD. Like, some reason Big Boss has created this false person out of shock from being in a coma and all the things that have happened to him. The theory that I'm kind of messing with, that I think would be pretty cool, but not, like, it doesn't have to be real or anything. But what if somehow Psycho Mantis is manipulating Big Boss and creates this outer, like, image or whatever, this illusion, in order to lead him out of the hospital? Because like I said in my Psycho Mantis talks, it would almost seem that he's helping Big Boss escape because of that one scene where the soldiers got the gun aimed at Big Boss and you just see Psycho Mantis rise up behind him, and it's kind of like, what's he doing? Also, when you encounter Psycho Mantis in the hospital, he doesn't actually attack you or come at you in any type of real aggressive way. There is that fire thing that looks kind of like Vulcan, so we don't really know who he is, or if it's an illusion or whatever, that comes at him, but it doesn't attack him. It stops and then disappears. So, wouldn't it be interesting if Psycho Mantis was basically using Big Boss's, like, consciousness or whatever to project this other person in order to lead him out of the hospital? And that would, in either one of the theories, the PTSD or the Psycho Mantis theory, would explain why this person has the same voice as Big Boss. So, all of that kind of wraps together. And now I'm going to explain how it could be an illusion, because it's really hard to disprove that it is not an illusion. But first, let's talk about the illusion. First off, when Big Boss first wakes up, he asks what happened to the nurse. And he's like, we gave her life, she took the short way down. The fact that he refers to himself as we, and the fact that he uses we instead of I, implies that him and Big Boss are the same. And that also works with all the other theories. You got to think about, why would Gray Fox say we? Why would Decoy Octopus say we? Decoy Octopus could say we because he's many people, but Gray Fox, I don't know, he's crazy at one point, so it could be multiple personalities. but why does he say we? That's the first thing I noticed. Second thing I noticed, when he actually asks him, what is your name? He says, my name's Ishmael. You can call me Ishmael. I've been watching over you for 9 years. If you actually look at his body language and don't listen to what he's saying, he does this. He does like, he touches his chest and then he points at the boss. Like it's almost like he's saying, I'm you. So, I mean, that's kind of a conspiracy theory thing, but I totally could see it happen. Third thing, when he helps Big Boss up, he gives him a shot. And only seconds later, when Big Boss is crawling across the floor and he's at the doorway, he says, oh, the shot didn't work. Well, if he's an illusion, then the shot obviously wouldn't work because it's not real. Fourth thing, when they're in that hallway and the fire Vulcan dude appears, they're both blown back. Ishmael catches on fire, and he's patting the fire out, and when he gets up, he has no seeming like burn marks on his chest or anything. But that could also be because it may be a projection of Psycho Mantis and the fire may not have been real, so you have to take that into consideration as well. So he doesn't have any burns on him. The next one I saw, basically when Big Boss is in that corridor and it's sealed off and he's surrounded by other patients, Ishmael is at like he's further out than Big Boss is. Big Boss is like in the dead center, and then Ishmael's like over at one of the sides. And then the soldiers just start shooting all the patients and like killing everybody. Now, the only two people that survive that are Big Boss and Ishmael. So, but Ishmael being at one of the sides would have most likely been shot. Like, I don't see how he could not have been. So, but Ishmael gets up and Big Boss gets up and they go into an adjacent room. So it's like, how did he not get shot? Maybe he's not real. So, but that's like, those are the things I've noticed that kind of support that theory. And those are actually kind of like good facts that you, like, if you pay attention and you notice that stuff, then it makes you think. Also, the blue eyes. Big Boss has blue eyes. If he's an interpretation of Big Boss, then, like, he could have blue eyes. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't really matter what color his eyes are, but if he's like Big Boss's inner thoughts, like projecting themselves in this person, then he would look like he has Big Boss's eyes and his voice. So that's definitely something to think about. I will run through a couple other theories real fast. I don't really know how much. I don't really have much validity on them because they're both about characters that are still like not 100% confirmed. Well, I mean, like, not confirmed as their identities, but some people think that possibly Ishmael could be Skullface because, of course, his face is all messed up, but his head is burnt. Ishmael has hair sticking out, like, so there's that. And then the other one, people think it's Psycho Mantis. Same reason, Psycho Mantis has really bad burns on his face. So, but the Psycho Mantis in the gas mask has hair, and this one has brown hair, and it's just, I don't really think that one's possible. But yeah, those are my Ishmael theories. I want to hear what you guys think. You know, send me a comment, video response, whatever you want. Let me know what you think. Is there anything else I need to delve into? Is there anything else you'd like to hear about? I'm also debating on, I may end up doing a Let's Play for the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 because I recently found out they're on the HD collection because I could never find them before, but apparently they are located in Metal Gear Solid 3's game, so I may be doing that pretty soon, and I want to see if you... But yeah, see you guys later. Have a good day.